Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cabela's, Cuddyback, America's Best Bowstrings, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, Hoyman Tree Saws, Lone Wolf Tree Stands, Nikon, Ozonics, Redneck Blinds, RTP Outdoors, Spot Hog Releases, Wasp Archery, Viking Solutions, and Realtree.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. It's the evening of October the 20th, and we're here in the swamp blind again. We're really excited. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening here to hunt. The last couple of hunts haven't been that great. We've had Friday night and then Saturday morning we had really, really strong winds, and it really seemed to depress the deer movement. We saw a couple of does this morning, some deer last night after dark, really. But the wind has died down here this afternoon. It's cold temperatures. It's 36 degrees. So we came back into the swamp blind that we were in this morning, and deer should be up and moving. We've got, it's really good conditions. And in front of this blind, the trail cameras have shown that it's been pretty hot lately, with deer in general, but also with some daytime buck movement. Two of our better bucks have been here. There's a Broken Shadow. Is a buck. He's a 4-year-old. We've had him here, and then there's a pretty good 10-point within the last couple of days we've had come right by this blind. So we're thinking with a little bit of a break in the weather and the cooler temperatures, we should have a pretty good hunt tonight. Also, we got a little help from our neighbors right back behind me here. Just picked their soybeans here in the middle of the day today. So hopefully that makes the soybeans that we have right out in front of us, along with Big and Beastie, pretty appetizing. So we're hoping that that's going to help us out a little bit here as well tonight. It's just an absolute beautiful evening to be in the deer woods. I'm pretty excited for the hunt. It's fun to get out. It's a little early. It's only October 20th, but like I said, the trail cameras tell us this should be a good spot. So we're excited to see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
God, I hope that was him. I think I swear he was missing his G2. Yeah. Exactly like we thought.
Yeah.
We figured it was too good of a night. Oh, that was the buck. One of the couple bucks that we were in here after. That was a buck we call Broken Shadow. He looks like a buck from years past called Shadow. He's a 4-year-old deer, and he's got a broken brow tine and a broken G2. We knew that coming in. He broke those off clear back in September. But he'd been on this camera within the last couple of days. He was one of the bucks, one of 2 bucks that we knew that were in here recently, and it just, all night it felt good, like that buck or the other 10-point were going to come out. And we had seen, up to this point, we'd seen 16 does and 3 bucks. And it had been a really exciting hunt. There were just deer coming and going all night long. We kind of got fooled by a decent younger buck. We thought it was him coming up out of the swamp. And he came right in front of us, but it was a smaller buck. And we were just kind of sitting here talking, because it's getting towards the end of shooting light, about what to do tomorrow. And we're talking about coming back in here tomorrow. And I was looking back that direction, and I saw a big body, and I could see antlers right away. And he was only at about 30 yards at that point. Pulled the binoculars up. He stepped into the big and beastie. He picked his head up. I saw he was missing his G2. And so that's our guy. It didn't take a whole lot after that, so I had to get the camera on him, and I didn't want to wait too awful long. I know that there wasn't a lot of footage of him, and we haven't gotten anything because it's so early in the season, but when he's there in front of you and it's time, and he came out and walked and was just getting to the edge of the beans, and I know that that's 24 yards, and I was already at full draw, and we just let him stop on his own. And I shot, and it looked like a perfect shot, and he just went another 50, 75 yards and piled up. I couldn't quite see where he fell, but I could hear the soybeans rattle, 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 so now we get to go find him. And there he is, right where we last saw him. It got dark in kind of a hurry, because he didn't leave us a lot of time. Excellent. All right.
Wow, he looks nice.
Yeah. He's got a big old... Yeah, thanks. He's got a big old body like we figured he did. That's our guy. There's his... This one and this one were gone by September with this buck. But this is a buck we've got history with, for sure. He was a buck that wasn't real high on our radar last year. Younger deer, probably 3. But he had all his tines broken off last year, kind of similar to this year. So when he's the best buck I think that we had on camera this year, and we're pretty excited about hunting him. And by the time we got back from Montana and checked trail camera cards, by September 26th, he'd broken this one off, which I think was his best tine. And then a week later, then he'd broken his brow tines, and you can see he's got pretty nice brow tines. But yeah, either way, his body gives him away, and we've got history with him. So he was a 4-year-old deer at least, and so I didn't have any question about whether I was going to shoot him or not if he came out early in the season or not. He's a mature deer, and that's what we're after. We don't get a lot of them year after year that can be 4 that we can be that choosy. So I'm happy to have him. For sure, it was a gorgeous, gorgeous night in the stand. It was cool, and the wind had died down, and we had deer on us all night long. And it was nice. Right now, it's just beautiful out to be doing this kind of stuff with. But yeah, we're pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. Now I get to run camera for Dad, but it always feels good to make a good shot on him. I mean, he gave me 25 yards broadside, not moving, so it's about all you can ask for, but it still feels good to make the shot that you're supposed to.
Well, it's about 3:30 and we just got back out to the stand. We didn't do an opening interview right away because as soon as we got into the stand, 2 fawns came out. There's actually still one out there, but we came back to the Tamarack's food plot tonight. The reason we came back here is because earlier this morning we saw that 10-pointer with all the stuff in his rack walk towards the Tamaracks towards the end of the morning. So we're hoping he can work his way out into the food plot here. We actually went back and looked at pictures from like last month, and we saw that he was on camera September 8th with whatever's caught in his antlers already. So he's been dragging that around for a good month or so now. But we're actually gonna call him Charmin because it looks like he's got some toilet paper in his rack. But anyways, we've got a great win for the stand, and it should be a great night, so stay tuned. It's about 5:45 right now. We've had very good activity so far. I actually just saw the buck we saw this morning, Charmin. He was running around in the tamaracks. I think it looked like he was chasing a doe or something. But there's a ton of deer in the food plot before. And unfortunately, I don't know, one of the does must have maybe seen us. And they kind of just trotted off back in the tamarack. So I'm hoping that it didn't spook them too much and they'll work their way out yet this way. Well, we just got back to our cabin now. We didn't end up doing an interview in the tree because there's deer all around. But overall, it was an awesome night. We saw a ton of deer. We ended up spooking a few because there's just so many in the plot. It's hard to not get spooked by them. Anyways, we did end up seeing the buck we saw this morning. He was chasing a doe around in the woods. Unfortunately, didn't come in enough. And then we saw a few other bucks. But we'll be back out here again in a few weeks, and stay tuned, and thanks for watching.
Welcome back to Midwest Whitetail Great Lakes. It's October 23rd, and I'm set up on the east side of the foundation field. I think we've got a really pretty good chance at seeing royals tonight. Conditions are pretty much perfect. It's about 48 degrees, but it's supposed to really cool down tonight. And it was about a 10-degree temperature drop from a high from yesterday to today. So we got rising pressure too, and a north-northwest wind, which sets up perfect for the stand. So I'm expecting to have a really good night. 1 year ago today, I was on the other side of this field, and royals came out of this corner right here and came out into the field, kind of pushing a couple of does. So I know he beds right up to the north of me here, and I know he's been coming out into this field. So if he's bedded tonight where I think he could be, I think we got a really good shot at him, especially if he comes out in this corner. So we're gonna sit tight, enjoy the night, and hope that he does the exact same thing that he did last year.
just getting to about close, and Royals came out on the opposite end of the field tonight, just like he did last year on this same night, except he was on this side and I was on that side. I'm pretty sure he's still in the field, just around the corner in the turnips, kind of by them does. Those does got it's so still tonight, they got kind of spooked by all the squirrels running around in the leaves, and there was a bunch of them right under me, and they just did not like that for whatever reason, so they were moving towards me, but ended up moving back into the turnips. And it seemed like he just kind of went right with them. And I'm pretty sure he's still out there, and we got a little time left, so he could very well make his way to this side of the field, but I will show you guys if he does. But if not, this is going to be my closing interview, so make sure to check back in next week to Midwest Whitetail Great Lakes.